Attention please. Today we're going to talk about what is the DELE exam and how useful is it for you. But the most important thing is we're going to answer 10 questions about this important exam. The last week we was talking with some students and they are asking for what is the DELE exam and what is very important this exam. And I say, okay, let's start and let's answer your questions. And they send me a lot of questions, but I'm going to answer the 10 questions most important to know about this exam. My name is Mario and let's start to talk about the DELE exam. Okay, so the first question is, what is the DELE exam? The DELE exam is an international exam that you can use to say, okay, my level in Spanish is beginner, intermediate or advanced. And this exam you can use everywhere in the world. If you pass the exam of the beginner exam, for example, you can use this in United States or in China or in Europe, wherever. You can use this exam. So this exam is very important if you want to apply a job, if you want to go to university, and there is a specific level for what can you do with this DELE exam. Okay, the second question is how you know which levels and how it works the DELE exam. There is something called Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, and this divides the levels in 6 levels. The first one is the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 and C2. The A1 is the beginner and the C2 is the most advanced in Spanish. Okay, let's answer the question number 3. How can I use this DELE exam? And this depends of which level you can pass in this exam. For example, the A1 and A2, the beginners, you need to pass this exam when you are looking for live in Spain, for example, or live in some countries in Latin America. If you want to have the residence, you need to pass this exam, the A1 and the A2. The next one is the B1 and the B2. And you can use, if you pass the exam B1 or B2, you can use this exam at the university. Most of universities all over the world, they ask for your exam, they ask for a B1 or B2 level in Spanish. But also you can use this exam to to apply to a new job. And the last one is the C1 and C2. That means the most advanced skills in Spanish. And this exam is very useful for 2 kinds of people. The first one is people that, for example, an ambassador that want to go to Spain, for example, or Guatemala or Mexico or wherever. You need to pass the DELE exam C1 to go to a Latin American country or Spain as an ambassador, for example. Or people works with the government. They need to pass this exam to go to any country of Latin America or Spain, for example. And another thing, very important, is if you pass the exam C1 or C2, you have the option to become a Spanish teacher because you have a high level in Spanish. Okay, let's answer another question. And the question is, there is another option or just is the DELE exam? And this is a very good question because there is another option, but there is some difference. And another option is the CIELE exam. So we have 2 exams, the DELE exam and the CIELE exam. And what is the difference? There is 2 important differences. So I'm going to talk to the 2 most important differences between the DELE and CIELE exam. The DELE exam is forever. If you pass the exam of the B1 or B2, you can use this certification today, or you can use this certification in 2 years, in 5 years, or in 10 years. But the CIELE exam is a little bit different because the CIELE exam is just working for 6 months. So if you want to pass the CIELE exam, you can pass the CIELE exam, but just work for 6 months. So this is most for universities or most for people who want to apply a new job, but you need to pass the exam every 6 months. So this is the first difference between DELE and CIELE exam. The second difference is that in the DELE exam, you have a complete exam. You need to pass 4 skills in Spanish or in the language. You need to be able to speak in Spanish. You need to be able to read in Spanish. You need to be able to understand the language, and you need to be able to write correct in Spanish. So there is 4 areas that you need to pass the exam, the DELE exam. But the CLE exam is just to talk and to understand. So you need to pass. You can pass the DELE exam. You can pass that CLE exam, just understanding the language and speaking the language. So this is the 2 most important difference between DELE exam and CLE exam. Okay, let's answer another question. And another question is, how is the DELE exam? How's working the DELE exam? Where I can do that? And it's a very good question, because most people have a lot of ideas about this exam. But this exam, you need to go to a specific Spanish schools that have the certification of Instituto Cervantes. So there is in all over the world a different Spanish schools, language academies that you can go to pass this exam. And how I said, you need to pass 4 skills. You need to be able to write correctly. You need to be able to understand the language. You need to be able to speak the language, and you need to be able to read the language. So there is 4 skills that you need to be able to pass this exam. Okay, let's talk about the question number 6. I think so is the number 6. Okay, whatever. But this question is about, can I pass the exam online? And this is a very good question, because a lot of people have this question. And the answer is yes and no. The DELE exam you can't pass online. You need to go to some specific school to pass this exam. But the CLE exam, you can pass this exam online. So the DELE exam, you need to go to specific Spanish schools, and the CLE exam you can do online, and it's more quickly than the DELE exam is. Okay, let's answer the question number 7. And the question is, where can I find Spanish schools that have this exam, the DELE exam? And this is a very good question. There is a lot of schools and all over the world, in Spain, in Europe, in Asia, in Latin America, in North America, everywhere. And there is a lot of Spanish schools that you can go to pass this exam. And below this video, I'm going to give you a link that you can go to look where is all of these schools. Maybe there is one in your city. Okay, and how difficult is to pass the DELE exam? And this is another very, very good question, because sometimes a lot of students who understand the language, that they want to go to pass this exam. But how I said, you need to pass 4 kinds of exam. The writing exam, the speaking exam, the reading exam, and the understanding exam. And this is a very good challenge, because you not only listen conversation from people from Spain, for example, or just from Mexico. In the DELE exam, you need to listen Spanish from people from all over the world. You listen Spanish from Argentina, you listen Spanish from Mexico, you listen Spanish from Guatemala or Spain or wherever. So you need to be very, very prepared to pass this exam, because if you just understand people from Guatemala, for example, or just people from Mexico, but in the exam you need to listen to people from Spain. So there is a very good challenge, because you need to be able to understand very well and do the exercise or the exam in general. Okay, let's talk about the question number 9. How can I pass this exam? Can you give me the tips to pass the DELE exam? Okay, we're going to talk about three important tips, but there is another video when we talk about 10 or 11 tips to pass this exam. But now we're going to talk about 3 tips to pass the DELE exam. And the first one is practice the 4 skills. Sometimes a lot of students want to pass this DELE exam, but the thing is they speaking skills are very well, but the writing skills are very poor. You can pass the speaking exam, but if your writing skills is very poor, you can pass the exam. You don't have the certification that say that you are a B1, a B2, or C1, or whatever. So this is very important. The second one is learn international Spanish. And what I mean with this international Spanish is that you need to practice with real conversation in Spanish. And you need to listen to people from Spain, people from Guatemala, people from Argentina, people from Colombia, and try to understand. Because in the DELE exam, you're going to listen people from all over the world. And the tip number 3, and for me is the most important tip, is you need to have some teacher who you can practice. Why? Because you can practice with a friend if you have a friend, native Spanish speaker, for example, but it's not the same if you have a teacher. Why? Because with a teacher, you can practice effectively, you can practice intelligently, you can save a lot of time if you have a Spanish teacher, because he knows how is the DELE exam, he knows who you need to do the exercise, and the most important thing with a teacher is you can have a simulation of the DELE exam as you are in the official exam. So this is a very important tip, and if you want a teacher, we can help you with this. Let's see the link I put you below of this video, in the description of this video, and you can have a special offer to get your first Spanish teacher for your preparation to the DELE exam. Great, I hope I answered all of the questions. I think there is more than 10, or I don't know, but whatever. I think that you have more idea about this important exam. And if you want to pass the exam, I give you some tips below of this video. In the first comment, there is a link that you can check and know more about this DELE exam. If you have any question, please let me know, and we're going to make another video talking about whatever is your question. So again, thank you for watching this video, and see you the next time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and most important, and don't forget join our free community that you can join and that you can learn Spanish for free. Again, thank you very much. My name is Mario, and see you the next video. Goodbye.